Morning everyone. Right, welcome to day 5, week 2 of the Guildford City Fitness live stream. I'm going to apologise in advance for going back to my amateur camera work. Demi is away in Bognor Regis sorting out our moving van for today, so I'm flying solo on this. I will keep checking in intermittently just to make sure I haven't missed anything. So if you keep leaving comments, I can come back and check them every so often, but today doesn't involve too much moving, so I think we should be okay. So we're going to clean up the space, make sure you put your drink handy, and we're going to go straight into Jefferson toe touches and go from there. So quick drink, and then we're going to go 6 reps like we did yesterday, 6 reps of each mobility exercise into a little bit of skipping, just to get your heart rate up a bit more gradually. So 6 reps of Jefferson toe touch. Again, up to you how much backgrounding you want to do, if you think you need it, or whether you just want to do a normal toe touch. As long as you're slow to begin with, hold for a second or two, and back up to standing. Just using that overhead position as a chance to achieve streamline. Start throwing in a bit of upper back mobility to start the morning. After this, we're going to go lunge and rotation. So 6 on each side. Rotating towards your front knee. If you can, arms across chest like this. And lead with your sternum. And don't have to hit your knee on the ground. You can hold it if you want. For me, I just think it gives me more time to concentrate on rotating. Which is kind of the whole point of doing it, because it's an alternative to thread the needle. One more each side. Okay, leave it there. Then we'll go into leg swings. So still making sure, a couple of little ones just to feel it out, get yourself going, and then build it up gradually. Go to tiptoes if it feels natural to do so. And then side to side, same leg. Just make sure you don't kick in the patio doors. Second leg. So again, actually having done adductor bridges yesterday, some of you might want to do a little bit of extra groin mobility before we get going. And 6 on each side, build it up. And relax. So a little bit more shoulder activity. So scat press up. One more down here, we've got angry cat, happy cat as well. There's 6 scat press ups. So hopefully doing this you'll be able to see the difference between the two. It's a really big push, hands into the patio, onto the floor, try and push it away. And then angry cat, happy cat. Lots of movement at the spine. Bring your hands closer if you need to, just to make sure you can emphasize your lower back some more. Again, just from experience, younger athletes seem to be able to get a much more uniform curve of their spine. Every time I've watched back in the videos and seen myself doing this, it's a lot more upper body dominant. As long as you feel you're getting a lot of work here and in the middle, it's still going to give you that benefit. Okay, then IYTW, so you can stand or kneel, whatever you think you need to. After you've done your skipping, of course. So, skipping on the spot in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So again, still don't matter what you end up doing in this part of the warm-up, as long as it helps start to build your heart rate to get you ready for the session. Okay, relax. IYTW, side on view, and then from behind. Still making sure when you go to the top, you're trying to reach as long as you can. So as much as we talk about it being a streamlined position, you're actually trying to actively overreach because it's all about the focus is still on mobilizing. It just looks the same. If you want, so I actually prefer to do it lying down because you get more emphasis on lifting your elbows and wrists up. So you get more activation as well. Just give you a bit more of a benchmark if you can see whether you can get your hands higher over time. Okay, then we'll skip again. So going in 3, 2, 1. Last 5 seconds, and leave it there. Okay, so if there's any other bits you think you need to get mobilized now, take the time, grab a drink. I'm just going to check to see if there's anything on with the camera. Yeah, morning guys. No issues yet. So I'm just going to run through the session. So I'm dual screening it today so that I can film with one and install an iPad for the rest of it. So today you've got over-unders. So on your back, same as last week, but just really make sure you've got control of your, how wide apart your feet go, and you're really squeezing in the middle. So here, out the way, and then cross over and squeeze, just so it's a little bit of, the slower you go, then we're going to start to feel it in your lower abs as well. And it's a good groin exercise, but it's still very much about pelvic control as well as anything else. Bent over row. So grab your bag like you would normally. I'm going to use the chair today. Hamstring raise. So again, using the chair, going up and down rather than holding the top. So for all the bridging we've done over the last week or so, 2 weeks or so, they should start to feel quite easy. So you might want to challenge yourself, making sure you don't hit the ground in between each rep. So it's just constant slow motion like this. Didn't do a push-up, so now's the chance to practice those. You're basically going to start in a downward dog position. So hands and feet down, downward dog. Push yourself into dorsal press, and then try and reverse it. So from here, up into that. So lots of clicking and popping on my end, but a good attempt, a good chance for you to practice your coordination. Make sure, I think they're also called dive bomb push-ups. So you're going from that pike position, going down, so a lot of shoulder work being done, and then it'll feel more like a normal push-up at the end with a bit of an ab stretch. Just try and get that motion going and keep it consistent all the way through. V-sit hold. So do as best you can, as long as your back's straight and your legs are up. You go for that. Or down here. Shoulder taps as normal, like we've done during the challenges. Like I tried to demonstrate instead of an up down yesterday. And skip medley, so 35 seconds. If you have a rope, go through the IM order for skipping. If not, just keep doing some sort of skip. Make sure you vary it up and challenge yourself a little bit more than you do during the warm-ups. So if you need to do extra bounces, if you want to do single hops, and then switch it over, or you can try and go for a C skip. So we've done C march during the warm-ups before. So a C skip, if you stay in this position as a base, if that doesn't work, do a couple of little hops and stay there. So again, if you've got a mirror or someone to watch you, you can just assess your hip range of motion and mobility just through a different lens. So last little chance to get a drink. I've left mine aside, so I'm going to get that. We're going to start in 10 seconds. This is what happens when I haven't got a camera person. So over-unders going in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So again, make sure your ankles go outside shoulder width. Hold it for a second, and then squeeze in the middle. Always making sure that your lower back is pushed into the ground the whole time, rather than just relaxing, crossing your ankles. And side on, jacket lifted last 10 seconds. You shouldn't be able to fit anything under there as you go through. 2, 1, relax. 10 seconds off. We'll go bent over row. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. And some of you might find if what you're holding is too light, you can get a bit more work done if you just squeeze as hard as you can at the top there. You pull your bag or whatever up for as long as possible, just to make sure those muscles are firing. And then down really slow. So even though this doesn't weigh a lot, that big squeeze at the top can feel just as hard as the top of a pull-up or any other exercise. Relax. Okay, then we're moving on to hamstring raise. So 35 seconds in 2, 1, let's go. So we're going to control the way down. Big squeeze at the top. Even if it's just 2 seconds, make a big difference. The fact that it's called a raise today gives you a bit more creative license over which version you end up doing. Okay, last few seconds of this one, and then relax. 10 seconds off. And we're going to go in 2, 1, let's go. Again, if you're varying it up in between rounds, that's fine. Just make sure you hit the same one for each round so you're nice and even. Again, try and make sure that even if you hold the bottom, you can still get a lot of work done. Just don't touch the floor to the end of the round. Personally, I find these a lot easier than bridges. It's almost like you get a bit of time to relax in the middle, but you've got to stay switched on so you can explode at the end of it, like that. Relax. So Hindu push-ups next. Starting plank position in 2, 1, let's go. Last few seconds. Relax. So again, actually feels a little bit easier than normal push-ups, but it's a lot more work being done by your shoulders the whole way through. So then we're moving on to V-sit holds in 2, 1, let's go. So I can fully expect that I'm going to be shamed by a lot of swimmers right now. So I actually feel like more of my abs if I go back here and hold this. Forwards a lot of hip flexor work being done. Last few seconds. In 2, 1. Relax. 10 seconds off. Shoulder tap, then skip medley. In 2, 1. Let's go. Again, if you start to struggle, just go for a press up hold. Last 10 seconds, readjust, or you can move your hands around as you do it instead of shoulder tapping. 2, 1, relax, skipping medley. So last exercise of the first round. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So I'm going to just see, skip. Use the garden mirror. Last 10 seconds. Finish on a high knee sprint in 2, 1. And relax. 2 minutes off. Just gonna check the comments again. No, everyone's happy. So yeah, I think the only one here really that might be new to people is probably the Hindu push-ups. So all you have to do, again, find that downward dog position. And then the transition bit, I think of the best way to describe it. So if you think about doing it to a normal push-up, where you go out and wide, you want to go head first down the way. So the midpoint would be like here. Like you were trying to start a really bad handstand. The hips up. And just before your face starts to come towards the floor, you then start to lift yourself up pretty much into that dorsal press position. So from there, bend your elbows, get into that, hips in the air. Hold that strong top position. And then reverse it the exact same way. So elbows down, head to floor, and then push. It's almost more like an overhead press, which is why I put it in, just to give you a little bit more variety. So I help building that shoulder stability a bit more in that overhead position. So we're going a little bit more transfer to some of the handstands people have been trying to do. And just again, a way for your triceps and chest to recover. So last 10 seconds of the rest. So get yourself ready to go over unders again and into bridges. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. If you do start to struggle, you can bend your legs a little bit. You can still get that squeeze. Still go out wide. Squeeze again. So again, all this leg movement, though it doesn't seem it, it's putting a lot of strain on all the fibres or on the top of your pelvis. Try and keep it steady. Try and keep those bones in the front of your hip pulled towards your head. And relax. And then into bridge. No, it's not, it's into bent over row. Wrong again. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So even if you wanted to do 3 10-second holds at the top, your back's going to start to light up. And relax. Really slow down. And then same again. But genuinely squeeze as hard as you can, like it's the top of a proper pull-up, and down. Last little bit. 2, 1, relax. Then it's bridge. So I went quite short last time, I'm going to go a bit longer now. In 2, 1, let's go. So not a lot of difference. So you can just lie down, move your heel a bit further away to make it simple. As long as I'm in the right tiles. So for me, a little bit more hamstring work being done. Again, if this isn't challenging enough, and you've got little weights or a heavy textbook, hold it over your hips. Increase the challenge a little bit. And we're stopping in 3, 2, 1. Relax and swap sides. 10-second gap. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So at the top, if you feel like your shoulders are being driven down into the floor a little bit, and much more challenging if you fall down slowly, almost like you're trying to catch yourself from falling, and explode up just at the end, and then relax. Okay, then we're into Hindu push-ups. In 2, 1, let's go. A lot of clicking and popping. So if you start to feel uncomfortable, just go into a normal push-up and relax there. Then we're going into V-sit hold, 10-second gap. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So keep your belts up digging into the patio. Head back in neutral. If you want, start putting some leg lowers as well. Hold your shoulders high. Or you can go hollow hold. So hollow hold, hips and shoulders on the floor. Rise up a little bit. So don't touch your feet off the floor. And stop in 2, 1. Relax. Shoulder tap. In 2, 1. Let's go. So head on view. Let's pay attention to my hips. So you shouldn't be able to see them drifting off to the side like this. Hold that position there. Sit with press up plank if you can't maintain your hip position. And like we've done before, try and go for a march. Keep your heels under shoulder height. Make sure your shoulders stay on top of your wrists. And relax. So last little 2-minute break. So again, in terms of what you do in that shoulder tap, the real secret behind it is you're trying to stop your trunk and your core from rotating, whether it's at the top and the bottom or just side to side. So that's the reason why if you're switching what you do with your hands for what you do with your feet, it's just going to challenge a different end of your core. But you're not actually going to lose too much in terms of what you adapt to. It's just that one's a little bit more shoulder stability focused and one's more lower back stability. And for a lot of you guys that end up having really tight quads from all the kicking you do across a week, it's probably just as important to have one as it is the other. By the way, it definitely is just as important. Everyone adapts differently, depending on age, depending on your training hours, so it's important to make sure that you're addressing both of them evenly. So if you find that one's bugging you one day and not the other, switch it up. As long as you're doing what I would call an anti-rotation exercise, it's still going to help you, even if it means taking a side step today. I'm going to check the phone again. I'm not going to comment myself, no. More skipping. Oh, I forgot the skipping. Oops. Hopefully you all didn't. I knew something would go wrong. I better do it now then. Cut my rest in half. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much, Michelle. I'll have to make it up to you all next week. B-skip. Oh, okay, so I've got about 10 seconds of rest left. Before we go into over-unders for round 3. In 2, 1, let's go. So even if you want to stay there for 10 seconds, go into cross and hold for 10 seconds, you're still going to get about 30 seconds worth of work done. Main challenge for me right now is not losing my lower back. So you can always just go into a double leg hold. A little bit longer. In 2, 1, relax. Okay, then we go into bent over row again. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So if you had something, if you had a bag that would work, or a small suitcase, you could always do this single arm and just switch halfway through. Or if you have 2 small suitcases, you can increase the load, have one in each hand. I'll try to go single arm, but this is not going to work, but no. But definitely worth considering if you're getting to a point where you can't handle a massive suitcase to do a double hand bent over row. Last couple of seconds. In 2, 1, relax there. Hamstring bridge. I'm going to go really short this time. I'll start off long, build myself in. 2, 1, let's go. Again, if you want to challenge yourself some more in any position, you can always put some textbooks on the chair, make it a bit higher up. A bit closer. Two, 1, relax. Switch sides. Last hamstring bridge of the week. In 2, 1, let's go. Start long. So again, if you get your foot position wrong, it's probably the easier one to change if you're going to switch between them. Up. Want to go again. Drag your heel forward towards you. Last few reps of the round. Hamstring bridge. 2, 1, relax. Hindu push up. Ready to go. In 2, 1, let's go. So I think for me the hardest bit is going back from there into this. So if you want to challenge yourself on that, you can do half reps, because that feels a bit like a rest, but it's still important in terms of holding your posture. So last 10 seconds. 2, 1, relax. V-sit hold and a shoulder tap, and then skipping before we finish off. 2, 1, let's go. We're going to struggle. Go single leg. Hold that there. Swap over. As long as your shoulders are up, I'm going to transition into a hollow hold. Bend your knees if you have to. Just keep the core very small. 3, 2, 1, relax. This is for this one for today. The shoulder tap in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So one of the things we practiced this week again, I'll lose the cushion, is walking your hands around so that you're wide. Front and back. And hopefully you can see from the top end, you're still trying to minimize hip movement. Stay in the middle to finish. In 2, 1, relax. Then 2, skipping to finish the session. In 2, 1, let's go. There's a single leg. And switch. It's a bit more challenging because you've got to drag your foot into the ground and hit it hard. Finish the session on a sprint. 4, 2, 1, relax. Forgot to count backwards from 5. Right, take a drink, pat in the back for a hard week's work done. Jacket on if you're outside before you start your cool down. And check the comments one more time. I'll run through the cool down. Thank you very much, Neil. Was waiting for that. Okay, so cool down time. I'll start and stop everybody. And if you have any questions, hopefully I'll answer them during this time. So, right quad in 2, 1. Let's go. So if you have any questions for the weekend, let me know now. Programs have been sent out. Well, they've been sent to leave for review. You get them by the weekend. Because I'm moving house, so this is the last time we'll have this as a backdrop. So we'll see what happens with the new place. I might have less forgiving neighbours than I do here. But either way, you'll be getting your videos like usual on Monday before the end of this. So excited. I'm going to cover all 3 days of the challenge. So when you do them Saturday and Sunday, you know to keep posting, and you'll know how to run through them all for those that didn't do them the weekend last week. Again, if you have questions about the aerobic work that we're trying to do, let us know. If you have got gym access, I've been amending the cards based on the programs I started with in week 1, but relax. If you feel like you want something different because you have equipment that I haven't accounted for, let me know. I'm happy to amend the sessions around that. 2, 1, go. Hamstring should be pretty limber after the bridges and the raises. Again, like I said to the younger ones yesterday, when you do the straight leg raise, make sure that there's no gap between your knee and the floor on the other side. Because if you watch me do this, I look like a gymnast, push it flat, gets a lot harder. Keep yourself honest. And then switch sides. So same thing, good just for comparison. 2, 1. Oh man, not great. So I'm going to go for a bit of a squeeze, heel into the floor, hips stay down, just a little bit of tension, shake it off. One more time. So like I said before, it just lets to inhibit some of that reflex, so you can try and get a bit more range of motion. Relax then. So onto hip stretch. I'm going to go pigeon again. I think my groin's done enough from the bridges and the crossovers. In 2, 1, let's go. So front on pigeon for this side. I'll go side view for the next. Doesn't matter if your knee starts off the floor. I'm getting a pretty good stretch there already. So keep your back straight and just have to slowly, as the time goes on, encourage it down. So you're not forcing anything. If you force it, you might hurt yourself without meaning to. Especially when you've got only 2 points of contact on the ground. If you feel comfortable, relax forward. Just make sure your back stays straight. If you start to do this, the stretch goes away completely. So switch sides. So I'll show you the main differences here between this position, where I'm a bit high up, but my shin is going, so the camera should be going right through my heel up into my knee. So that there is a lot harder than if I let my foot drop back towards my hips and do that. So I can still feel it because I'm not very mobile around my lateral hip, but you'll gain more, you'll feel more improvement and see more improvement if you hold this position. So straight back and make sure your shin is vertical, not like this. So moving on then to lats. The peekaboo variation I showed the young ones yesterday. So if you've got a chair, a lot of people like this one. So bend your knees, cough onto your sit toes, push your head through your elbows and shoulders, and then you can still get a good lat stretch from here if you start to twist. Just keep your hips level and twist your chest to the side. I'll switch sides. Take the jacket off, you can see. So toes and knees are very important. If you try and do it straight, you're not going to get to be able, you won't get through, and you'll think you're really tight, but it's not your muscles, it's your setup. So head through and then slowly start to twist. So from there, so now it's like I'm trying to show that Guildford logo on my chest to the camera. And it's the same as what we've done here when you try and get your hips away from your arm. It just separates this end of your lat from this end and creates a different bit of stretch, so you can assess it through a full range of motion. On the chest then. I don't think my Guildford jacket's seen as much abuse since I got it. So again, this is the classic one. If you want to do it like we did yesterday, in a fly position you can. So a dumbbell fly position. And switch sides. So again, diagonal on, elbow above shoulder, sink down. Can you put your hand on your knee for a bit of support? As long as, so the way your pec muscle attaches is sternum, the chest bone, up to the inside of your shoulder. If you go overhead, you can feel the end of it. Just try and get them away from each other. And relax. So challenge run through. So today's one is, I've lost it. It's going to be commitment. So 15-minute timer again. Set that on the clock. Complete as many rounds as you can. Only record your full rounds. So you've got to do 14 split squats on each leg. So I think someone confused this last week. So you're going to do a split squat 14 then switch sides, do another 14 streamlined sit-ups, and then 14 squat jumps. So it's almost ironic with being named commitment, because you've got to blow your legs up to then do the squat jumps. So go through as many of them as you can in 15 minutes. So I have to check my phone for the other two because I've only taken one picture on the iPad. Actually, I'll get the laptop. Give me 2 seconds. What's this now, Lee? Blooper number 4? 5? Okay, so Saturday, Sunday, like I said, we'll cover today, tomorrow and Sunday so that you've got all the instruction you need to get through the week. So tomorrow's one is going to be support on the sheets. So you've got to start on 10 reps of each exercise. MPS week 2. So it's burpees, V-sits, shoulder taps and leg lowers. And you've got to do 10, so you go 10 burpees, 10 V-sits, 10 shoulder taps, 10 leg lowers. Next round you do 9, 9, 9, 9, all the way to 8, down to 1, finish and give us your time. So that'll be support. And then the values challenge on Sunday, you've then got to do 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, and 100 hamstring bridges. So that's single hamstring, so it's basically 50 on each side. Unlike some challenges people have done this week, this is a bit more forgiving. You can do them in any order, so you don't have to start on squats. You can start wherever you're most comfortable, try and bank some time, just because I want to see how creative people can be with how they get it done and see how much that varies the times. That's it for the challenges this week. Like I said, I'm moving over the weekend, so Monday I'll be set up in a new house. So whatever happens, you'll get your videos on time. Programs have been sent out already. So I'm just going to check the comments one more time. And I'll say goodbye for now if there's nothing else. Okay, there is a bit of a lag on the live stream, so if there is anything you need to know, post in the comments or email us. Apart from that, from me and everyone else at Guildford City, to all of you who are watching around the country at the minute, have a great day.